alternative approach to the traditional teaching style in which students collaborate to create a final product.
Do you know the answer to this?
I think you do.
Girls, you need to be working independently. This is independent work right now, so I'm going to talk.
I just wanted help.
Oh.
Guys, I can see so much and learn so much out here.
Yeah, why don't we take these water samples back to the classroom and test the pH levels?
That's a really good idea for our project.
Yeah.
This learning is so effective. That was so much fun collecting water samples. Let's test our pH levels. Then compare it to this one. That's such a good idea, Caitlin. Thanks.
Wow, you guys seem to be doing a really good job working together as a group.
Yeah, it really made me learn.
Thanks,
Good,
teacher.
I'm glad.
This one was 57.
Learning in a group can be more effective than learning by yourself.
Thanks.
I love working on a project. Helps me learn.
With project-based learning, the role of the teacher is not to feed the students information, but to act as a facilitator, helping them to complete their goals.
Hi, I'm Janet Abdullahi. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade social studies at St. Malachy School in Brownsburg.
Okay. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about the We the People competition?
We the People is a program based from the Center for Civic Education in California, and it was part of a program passed by Congress in 1987 to celebrate the bicentennial of the Constitution. They fund the program. We get books that covers all aspects really of the Constitution, starting with why do we need government, through the Philadelphia Convention with the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, up to citizenship today. And the way that the program works is the teacher teaches that in the classroom, goes through the content in the book, teaches those in the classroom, and then the students are formed into groups, and the groups are then presented with some questions to answer regarding the unit that they have selected to be on. So for example, in Unit 1, they look at the question, why do we need government? They answer questions about John Locke and what he thought we would have if we didn't have government. They work in their groups to write essays that they then present orally at the competition. They have a 4-minute window at the competition to present those essays, and then they are asked 6 minutes of follow-up questions from the judges. It can be about anything within the scope of their unit.
Okay, thank you. Do you find that the students are more motivated to learn the material when they know that they are going to have this competition afterwards?
Definitely. If there wasn't the competition, if there wasn't that real world experience, then there would be, it just would be another topic. It is a lot of work. The program is a lot of work for the students, and I find that they are much more willing to do that work, knowing that that they have a real presentation to go to.
So do you think this this competition kind of authenticates the information that they are learning? It makes it more relevant?
Well, it definitely does, because at the competition too, then they're asked to take these concepts and apply them to things today. So, you know, when they're talking about Republican government as it was formed, it becomes a lot more relevant when they're asked about, well, how does it function today? Is this still a good form of government for the United States? Are there problems with it today? And they're asked questions that really apply to what it's like today.
Okay, good. What are some strategies you use to keep everyone on track and everyone doing what they need to?
Well, I have very much a group accountability kind of standpoint in here, where they evaluate themselves and evaluate each other. So they are accountable to their group members much more than they are to me. So at the end, they'll fill out a sheet about, you know, they evaluate themselves. The work I did was of good quality, and it's not that they have to do this to get an A, but more that they have done the best that they could.
Okay.
That's possible. that they've used their time well and all of that. They grade themselves and all of their group members, and then that all gets taken under advisement for their final grade.
Awesome. Okay. And then maybe you could talk about some of like the pressures of iStep, like we were talking about earlier. I don't know where where to start with that.
Well, I don't see it so much as we the people.
Yeah.
But we do spend an inordinate amount of time on things that are not tested on iStep. So 8th grade doesn't have a social studies iStep, but if they did, they would not be asking to apply Republican government today. They would be testing the factual knowledge about Republican government, which is fine, and by applying it today, students remember it a little more. But we're practicing in a way that isn't tested. And I think it's a program that has great value, and it's a program that students remember for years after they leave my classroom. So I would never want to give it up. What I find in 7th grade especially is when I do project-based learning and I let them formulate their own research questions, and they can pick an area with some constraints. So for 7th grade, they do African civilizations, and they get to formulate their own research question to compare and contrast two civilizations. All of that is very, very much standards-based. But the question they formulate may not be something that would help them then on the actual iStep. And so we spend a lot of time researching something of great value that's standards-based but still isn't tested.
Awesome. Thank you.
Project-based
Learning.
rocks. And that's a wrap.